Ah, doing the old morning stretches. All right, I've woken up early again. So today's the 9th of December. Okay, I've got some. I don't need my water bottle. Let's grab some potions. Right, no more Mr. Nice Nitro. Not anymore. We're ready for today. I woke up. I did my stretches. I've got my helmet on today and my booties. I've got my favorite sword. And today we're gonna make sure that nothing happens to our present. We've woken up early. We've taken all the precautions. There's nothing that can possibly go wrong. So let's go find the ninth door. There it is. There we go. Let's go through the ninth door and see what present we have today, and we will be getting a present today. For I shall not lose more cake. Alright. Okay, let's go. Doesn't seem to be anything. Oh! Ah. Zombie, eh? Have at thee! Haha. Ah, good. Oh, okay, there's more. There's more. Ah. No! No, get away from my present! No, what are you doing? Get away from my present! Ah! Ah, what are you doing to it? There's cake inside! I can see the cake. Okay, all I have to do is deal with these zombies. Okay, there's quite a few zombies. Okay, run. Run. Yeah. Nope, that didn't do anything. Yeah. No. Okay, well, I'll just heal. No! Get away. They're dealing even more damage to it. Get away from the present. Oh, no. No! Eat some cake while I can. Oh, no. They've torn down the entire present. Ah, I can't believe this keeps happening every day. Okay, there's too many of these guys. I gotta get out of here. Ah, dang it. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. So guys, let's take a look behind the scenes and see how all of that was done. So actually I'm using quite a lot of different techniques in this episode. It's a little bit more involved. But I think I enjoyed it a little bit too much. I think you could tell. You might be able to pick it up. I don't know. My mic's not very good, but I was smiling the entire time when I was slaying those zombies. It was actually a lot of fun to try and defend the present. So how am I doing it? How am I doing it? Well, let's first focus on the present itself, shall we? So we have another one of these command cubes in the rough outline of a present, and if we put the if we activate this command cube, you'll think that nothing's happened. But if we go F3N, what's actually happened is I've summoned lots and lots of small villagers. So these are baby villagers, and you'll see that some of them have the name Clay, some of them have the name Wool. These ones have wool here. This top part of the bow, these these are all called Wool. These are all called Clay. Let's go back into the thing. So if we run some commands to set block Clay at the ones called Clay and set block Wool at the ones called Wool, we will now have a completed parcel, a completed present, and inside it, it's full of villagers, and obviously zombies like villagers. So that part sort of takes care of itself. They run towards this, and when I attacked them, they started chasing me as well. So they started attacking both the present and me. So that controls that sort of part. Then I have this functionality here. This controls all of the present destruction and the cleaning up of the villagers and stuff like that. And this little apparatus here controls the zombie summoning. So let's start off with the zombie summoning. It's a little bit less involved. All you have to do to start it is put a redstone block here next to this. This is using a modified version of player detection that I've been using for these other ones. So all this command block's doing is at the closest player, or I could have had my name here. In previous examples, I had my name. But at a player, or the closest player in this case, it's single player, so it doesn't matter. Detect if there's sponge 2 blocks under my feet, or well, yeah, 2 blocks, I guess. It depends where you start counting from, but 2 blocks under my feet, and then test for a player. So all it's doing is saying, is there sponge, and is there a player in the world? Well, obviously there's a player in the world. That bit there is, it might as well say true. All it's doing is saying yes, that there is something that is always there. There has to be a player in the world, or else the world wouldn't be running, would it? And then we have a conditional command block. So this will only activate. It's just like a sort of a comparator, but it's in command block form. So when this is successful, which means when I'm over sponge, this will go off, and this actually does a relative set block to here. So this is how we can detect things in the world happening and do relative things over at our redstone without having to use absolute coords at the end of an execute command. So you have to use 2 command blocks to do this instead of a single command block. You can use a single command block and an entity. There are lots of different ways to do relative things. This is just another example of a method that you can use. So what it'll do is it will set a stone block here, which will essentially just run a clock, a redstone clock. Very simple stuff. Nothing command blocky about it, except for this command block. So this command block has a couple of things. Obviously, it's summoning zombies. The first thing it's doing is executing at one closest villager. The reason this is here is so when there are no villagers in the world, this command will stop running. So once the present is destroyed, no more zombies will spawn. That is the only reason why that's there. So focusing on the second part, there's another execute afterwards, which randomly selects an armor stand and summons a zombie with some custom variables, its name and such. And so it summons randomly at the thing. So let's go over to the actual place, and let's switch into F3N to switch into spectator mode quickly and fly down here. So over here, invisible, we have an armor stand in this little corner. All the way over here we have an armor stand, and over nearby the entranceway we also have another armor stand. So randomly any of these things, so you can use the @r, which is selects a random entity when type is involved. So I'm randomly selecting one of these stands and summoning zombies at them. So they'll come from all directions. And over here we have the sponge strip, my block of choice for these videos. And so it's all relatively simple, and of course the zombies will automatically pathfind to the villagers even though they're invisible. The zombies, they have a sense, they have a smell for the villagers. So that's that whole thing, and that whole thing explained. Now we will go on to the main piece here. So this whole thing controls the destruction of the villagers. Now I'm using I'm going to attempt to explain something which is can be a little bit confusing the first time. So what we're doing here is we're executing at a villager -1 so that's where we're executing as the villager, but these commands for these aren't used very often, but what these do is actually change where the command is being activated. And this is important for what we see later with the second execute, which is using dx, dy, and dz. And these numbers are used to define, or so you'll often see people use radius, where it's saying anywhere in this sphere around this object, right? In this case, we are defining a block region. And let's see, let's actually finish off the command before I go on to other things. So we're executing at that zombie a scoreboard, which then does the same thing but looks for the player, the villager in that area. So to describe what I've just complexly said in a more simple fashion, I've created this thing here. So this purple stained clay is the villager, and what this villager is doing it is executing a command at this orange wall block that is looking for essentially a zombie inside this square area. So anywhere within, if its zombie is in where this snow is, or anywhere up, because we defined 5 blocks up. So if a zombie is anywhere here in this cube area, it will be successful. It will run the command successfully, and the zombie that is within this area is also activating the command in a 3x3 way, so it will affect the villager again. So I'm doing it sort of twice. I'm doing it from the villager to the zombie that could be in here, and then from the zombie to, obviously, if it's in this area, it'll affect the villager. So a little bit complicated, but all it's really doing is, if it's just a more complicated way of saying, if a zombie is near a villager, increment that villager's score by 1. And it's a destroy score we're using. And then what we're doing is we're running commands depending on what the villager's destroy score is. So if we look into this box, this command block, we will see that we're executing at a villager with a certain destroy score, minimum 20 and maximum sort of 20. So that does that. And we're playing the zombie attack door sound, so that does the sound effects. And we're doing that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and we're incrementing the score each time. So this is 80, and then we play the break sound at 150. I decided to skip a couple of the attack sounds. So we play the break. We play the break sound. We then destroy the block by setting it to air destroy. So set block air destroy. And this is happening at the villager that is old, and we're removing the old villager from the world by teleporting it down, and then immediately killing it, because sometimes when you teleport it down and it's set as indestructible, they don't die instantly. Well, they should die instantly, but I did this as a sort of redundancy. It's just a redundancy to have a kill, and I didn't kill them there because, again, particle effects. So this is not necessarily necessary, but it's just redundancy to make sure that I have removed the villager from the world, because I was having some issues. So that's that whole thing there. It's actually rather simple. I've just decided to make it a little bit more complicated with the activation using the cubic selection of DX, DY, and DZ. But I say that you should probably play around with them for a while. Once you get the hang of it, it'll snap and you'll realize, oh, I see, that's how it works. It is a lot simpler than I'm making it out. You just have to sort of get to terms with it. You can mess up a lot too. I know that I've messed up tons while writing this stuff. So yeah, have a play with it. It's quite fun. Once you get it to work, it is a powerful tool, being able to select defined areas. So that's all it is for this episode. Hopefully there'll be another video tomorrow, and I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye.